What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Blue Room. This is Mikhail, the Idea Shifter. And like I say, every time I get on this mic, I bless the mic because I got something to say. I rock headphones because I'm listening twice as much as I talk. And we're going to chop it up in here today about men and marriage. I got two people that I actually consider wise. One is my age, one is a little bit younger. But before I introduce them to you, I wanna hit some stats for y'all right quick about marriage. Okay. I went and found these stats. And I just thought they were interesting because I think it kind of adds a backdrop to the conversation. Of course, I deal with masculinity, faith, mental health, manhood, money, and family and marriage because we're trying to build up men. So here we go. Here's the stats, y'all. This is going to kind of give us a backdrop. And in 1970, 76 and a half of people were married. So 76 half and put 76.5% of the population was married. In 2023, only 31% of the population is married, which means people being married in America has dropped. What's that? About almost 50%, over 50%. Americans actually stay married. Americans stay single longer than any other people in any other country. So Americans stay single longer, and we're getting married on average 8 years later. As far as that drop in marriage, 76.5% dropping to 31% in 2023. Hispanic and black women are the lowest. So they get married the least out of everybody else. In World War II, I thought this was interesting. It was 16 marriages per 1,000 people. Right now, it's only 8 marriages per 1,000 people, right? So it's dropped 50%. And of course, we all know this, that 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? However, what was encouraging is the divorce rate is actually dropping. Right? So the divorce rate is actually dropping, y'all. I thought this was a very interesting stat right here. Millennials wait longer to get married, but they are staying married longer, meaning that they're taking longer to be married. That's why the statistics are skewed, but they stay married longer. 41% of first divorces, so 41% of the people that get married for the first time, 60% of them get divorced. This is crazy number to me. Y'all. I'm laughing because it's funny. When you do it a second time, it's 60% chance you're gonna get divorced. When it's a third time, it's a 73% chance you get divorced. I hate to see when you get to the 60, you ain't got a shot at all, bro. Now watch this. There's a
Oh,
divorce every 42 seconds. That's 86 per hour. When you think of that, y'all, as much as I celebrate marriage, it's 86 divorces per hour, 2,046 per day, 14,364 per week, and
Jesus.
746,971 per year. That's a lot of divorce, y'all. Of course, it's a lot of marriage, but it's a lot of divorce. And here's the last statistic. We're going to have to talk about this one. And 75% of divorces are requested by women. Oh boy. 74% of these are requested by women. So women like, man, yo, I don't want to be married no more. For whatever reason, we're gonna make sure we kind of chop that up. I just want to get those stats out. Now, this I got Corey and I got Tony on the line, and I want you guys to introduce yourselves in however, whenever way you think you need to introduce yourself, and then we're gonna get right into this.
Well, I'm Corey, man. I was married 5 years, and been divorced for 2 years. And I'm just on this podcast to uh, get my little 2 cent about marriages and stuff like that. My marriage wasn't perfect. I'm not perfect, but it's somebody for everybody out here. So.
Don't get the crying on here, Corey. It's not time for that, man. We ain't here talking, man. Okay. Okay, I got you. We good.
I'm Antonio. This is my brother, Macau. Been knowing him since I I was a kid. Actually, him and his brother Jamil was a very important part of my maturation process, because when I used to look back, at when they were on fire for God, they were really young, and
Yeah.
around that time it wasn't popular. You all were Sunday school teachers. I don't even know how young. How young were you all? Were y'all like 19, 20 around that time? I was
Yeah. I was
young,
about
young.
21. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, young,
Yeah.
and around that time that just wasn't popular for that age group to be already in ministry. So, it
Yeah.
was something to look up to, and they were a pivotal part in, my, deciding to become who I am today. But I've been married going on 16 years in June or July, one of
16.
those. 16 years, yeah.
Good
Woo.
job. Good job,
Man,
baby.
Tony. Man, you've been
Good
married
job.
longer than me. Now, if I add my other marriage in there, I get. Yeah. So since we all sharing that, I was married. My first marriage, I was married for 4 years, but we really only lived together for 2 years. Okay. We separated for 2 years. Then I ended up getting remarried. So I am skewing that remarriage stat right now. I'm doing pretty good right now. This weekend got a little rocky, but no, I'm kidding. Okay. So the first thing we're going to talk about, fellas, is what is the purpose of marriage and why is it important? And I'll just give a real quick backdrop. I believe that marriage is from God. I'm going to start that off. I don't have to get into gender stuff because it's not worth talking about to me. But I am in the concept of marriage that God created, a man and a woman. And he said a couple of things in there, and I don't want to expound on it. I'm just going to put it out there because I know Tony might and Corey might. But the Bible actually says to be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it, meaning that. And then he sends a woman because it wasn't good that man should live alone or should be alone. And he purposed for this man and woman to be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. And data shows that communities suffer when people are not in their place in their marriages. So I do believe that marriage is an institution created by God to be fruitful, to multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, to bring structure, to bring order, to bring love, and to bring God's plan to the earth and manifest his purpose. That's it bluntly for me, just to give a backdrop, because I am a man of faith, and I want to put that out there. So, Tony, we're going to start with you. What do you think the purpose of marriage is, and why is it important?
uh, so piggyback off you said, yeah, it's a union. It's a union between two people to produce or to be productive.
Yeah,
And like he mentioned, community, the family is the foundation of the community. You know, yeah, I don't like to um, put a law on that you have to be married. No, it's not that someone has to be married, but there's no community without marriage. That's what I'll
come
say.
on.
Because a
Yeah,
community needs the family. That's the foundation of a community, is family. So
yeah,
without commitment and union, there is no order in the community. So I believe, yes, it is a union between two people to be productive, because
okay,
going back to what he read in Genesis, um, when God created all things, he looked at it and said, there's no man to basically watch over it. And then we see it
right,
proceeding to say he created man and woman, because there was no man to till the ground. There was no man to, watch over that thing that he created. So, I believe that it's a union between two people to, for a purpose to be productive in community.
okay. I like that. What's up, Corey? What you got?
Uh, I just think marriage is creating a legacy. You know, two people, saying we together for life. Um, no matter what happens, growing with each other, building a healthy union, uh, coming together spiritually, and teamwork. Right? Teamwork makes the dream work. And everyone isn't spiritually inclined. You know what I'm saying? So everyone don't really go by the Bible, right? So you
That's
have a
true.
lot of people. You have a lot of people out here. Just you got spiritually people that goes by the Bible and people that doesn't. So when you have that, one person may not feel the same way as the next person. So you had this chaos,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, you just got to come together as a union, as we talking about. You got to come together as a team and figure out how this marriage is going to go, so. And yeah, it's important, like these two young men have said, it's important to have that family and the community to show everybody that this is how togetherness is.
Yes, and I did like what both of you said, and what strikes me about it is that God he's very specific about what's supposed to come out of it. And that's why he specifically wanted men and women in it. And I do believe that it's necessary, like Tony said, family is the structure of society. So God could have started the Bible off with anything. He started it off
Mm-hmm.
with a family. He started it off with quote unquote a nuclear home with two parents, because we didn't have the streets sucking people up. We didn't have, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have people with gambling addictions in the Garden of Eden and all that. But God understood that every child needed to be with a mother and a father, but he also understood that in marriage, there was something that this woman brought to this man that he needed. And it was something that this man brought to this woman that she needed. And when two become one flesh, or when they would get together in a union of marriage, they would produce what he needed produced when they came together. And I believe, like Tony said, I believe that my specific definition of it, to me, is the foundation of society. It's the foundation of community. It's the foundation of order. It's the foundation of structure. And I believe the data shows, because of how kids suffer when fathers are not in a home, or even if a mother is missing out of the home. When you don't have both parents and you only have single parent homes, the data does not look good. Depression increases, crime increases, ADHD increases, teen pregnancy increases, crime increases, substance abuse increases. So it's some things that God put right there for
Yeah.
marriage, that he needed men and women involved of. Now we're talking the male perspective, but you can't really say it without women. Go ahead, Tony.